Frank with you on the DVE microphone, talking to you from Pittsburgh, PA. Welcome to Saturday night. Nick Z out in California. A little bit later, I'll tell you about my adventures with Nick Z from my Hollywood vacation last week. Right now, we're going to sit back, set up the screen and the slide projector, and I'm going to tell you about my trip out west last week. It was awesome. Saw two Penguins wins, one in Anaheim, one in L.A., hung out in Hollywood, met up with my buddy Nick Z, formerly of Monaca, with the 4019s. He was also in a band called Mary's Danish. And he took me to some places that aren't there anymore, just like a lot of things are not there anymore. One of those places was the Palomino, really cool club back in the 60s, 70s, 80s. Started out as a country club, country music club. Merle Haggard, Waylon Jennings, people like that played there. Jerry Lee Lewis. Then later on, bands like Lone Justice, the Rave Ups, bands that were just starting out. They were just local bands, like No Doubt or the Chili Peppers hanging out there. That's what happens, man. Getting that local band, you never know what's going to happen. Go out and support it. Got to see some Hollywood stars on the Walk of Fame. That was pretty cool. Went up to the observatory and hung out where James Dean did Rebel Without a Cause. Went to the Rainbow Bar and Grill where Lemmy used to hang out. They got a statue of Lemmy, hanging out with Lemmy at the Rainbow. And met some really cool people along the way as well. Let's say hey to Dave and Lockie from the hostel. Great times out in California. Plus it was warm. So had a good time. You want to see the pictures? Check it out. Some of them I posted at Guy Overnight over there on Twitter and on my Facebook page, Frank Cindrich. Just in case you're interested, want to see some California while you're here in the cool November Pittsburgh. So get out there. It's DVE 102.5 on your Saturday night. Frank on your DVE radio tonight. If you dig cool rock facts, tomorrow night here on DVE, as it is every Sunday evening around 10 o'clock, Little Steven's Underground Garage, the coolest place to be. He's got your Freak of the Week, your coolest song in the world this week, and a lot more cool rock and roll facts and personalities. One of those personalities I was fortunate to meet last week when I was out there in California. Nick Z took me to lunch with Mighty Manfred from the Sirius Little Steven's Underground Garage channel, and I also got to meet Tony Valentino. That guy was part of a band called the Standells. Remember the Standells? Really cool meeting a rock and roll legend. Guy with toured with the Stones, toured with a lot of other people back there in the 60s. Had some cool stories to tell, and so he's still making music today. Just put out an album this year. Tony Valentino playing the music of the Standells, Dirty Water Revisited, and a couple other cool songs too. Check that out if you get a chance. Tony Valentino. When do you get to meet a rock and roll legend, man? Thanks, Nick, for turning me on to lunch and meeting Tony and Manfred as well. Great stories. Again, if you love those stories and the behind the scenes of the rock and roll tomorrow night, right here on DVE's Little Steven's Underground Garage. Thanks for being part of Frank Nation. 102.5 DVE.